nothing, waved it off, just dismissed it.
Well, they're certainly not going to make any statement while they're leading the race right here. But I can guarantee you they're not going to leave them out there if they think it's dangerous.
Yeah, and there doesn't appear to be a problem.
No, that's just the normal vibration.
So Michael Andretti now 0.6 of a second back in second place. They're the top 6 for you. And the game is catch-up. Emerson Fittipaldi, that's 3rd place. There is Paul Tracy, 4th place. On board, Michael. Scott Pruitt, Jill DeFerrin as they battle. And it is a fight up at the 10th spot.
You can hear him in there trying to work that throttle.
Going back to Michael Andretti, 2nd place. We're just going to sit and watch this for a bit. This is the move on the race course that will matter as he tries to catch up to Little Al. A couple of things to update you on. Remember Alessandro Zampedri last week in the Indianapolis 500 involved in that crash on the last lap? Well, he's undergone quite a bit of surgery. He suffered fractures to both of his legs and feet. There is a fairly serious concern about his left foot, though. He had surgery again yesterday on that, and it involved not only an orthopedic surgeon, but some reconstructive surgeons. They're trying to get blood to perfuse into the foot, and it has been compromised to some degree, and they are concerned about his left foot. As yet, they've not made any move about it, but he'll be at least another 3 weeks in the hospital at Methodist Hospital of Indiana if you want to send him a card. And while we're on the medical report, a longtime best friend of the IndyCars, Jim Chapman, who helped engineer the PPG IndyCar World Series to start with, has not been feeling well lately, been in and out of the hospital. And Jim, we all are concerned about you, and we wish you well.
See Michael there working just in the edge of that nice black groove, but he didn't want to get up any closer into that gray. That's not a good area.
You saw Little Al looking for Michael. There's Little Al across the line. There's Michael. So Michael Andretti still trying to run down the leader of the race. 172 laps are complete. I think this is going to come down to a shootout. When we come back, we'll take you right to the checkered flag.
Born at Indy, driven everywhere.
Every few years, the world gathers to witness an unparalleled sports spectacle, the Truckathlon. And to compete, you have to have a Ford Ranger 4x4, because you'll need its switch-on four-wheel drive for truck long jump. Its four-wheel anti-lock brakes for truck discus. And its whopping 4-liter V6 for truck hurdles. The Ford Ranger 4x4. You can't win without one.
Next event, truck pole vault.
Yes!
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3, Power Plus, and Power Premium gasolines are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks. And you may feel like you've left your old car behind.
Oh, add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
People are selling tools today on the market that I don't even think they know where they're made, and they're not a quality tool. One thing about the Craftsman tool, it's made here, and you know the quality's good.
1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America. Guaranteed forever.
If something happens to it, you can take it back, and you know where to take it back because you know where it come from.
Only at Sears.
Preakness winner Louis Couture's and the country's top 3-year-olds take off in the final jewel of the Visa Triple Crown Challenge. It's the Belmont Stakes live, Saturday on Wide World.
Back at the Miller 200 on the Milwaukee Mile, a beautiful day in Milwaukee. Al Unser Jr. is the leader. Michael Andretti trying to play catch-up. Those top 5 cars are all on the lead lap. And by the way, though not necessarily in that order, they're the same top 5 that we had at the conclusion of the race at Nazareth. And I don't think the order we're looking at right now is necessarily going to stay the same.
Well, it doesn't look like it, but you never know what's going on. And traffic, as I said earlier, is playing a big part. Michael was pretty close to Al Jr. Al Jr. seemed to have gotten through the traffic better. Here Michael lift off there, going through the corner. He struggled a little bit to get by Ray Hall and Mauricio Gugelmin.
Michael is 5 seconds back. Emerson Fittipaldi is not all that far back behind Michael. Top 5, Unser Jr., Michael, Emerson, Paul Tracy, Greg Moore. Those are the cars on the lead lap. Emerson Fittipaldi, 3rd place. Then Paul Tracy, then Greg Moore. Christian Fittipaldi begins the cars that are a lap down, Jack Root.
Well, Paul, no sooner did you notice that Emerson Fittipaldi was closing, so did Carl Hogan and Rick Reineman. They radioed to Emo that they think that Emo can get by Michael Andretti for that position before the end of the race. Said, you've got 20 to do it, guys.
So Emerson Fittipaldi has been given the go-ahead, as I assume everybody at the front of the field is. The assumption also is with that long yellow, fuel is not a problem at all, so they will run to the finish.
Yeah, but speaking from a driver's point of view, I think they always know where they are. Not necessarily when you can't see somebody, but when they can visually see him after that restart. He knows where Michael is. He's got the bit between his teeth, and he's going as hard as he can drive that car right now.
Emerson Fittipaldi came around Bobby Ray Hall, around Eliseo Salazar. He has one of the Dan Gurney Eagles sitting just ahead of him. Works under that. 16 laps to go. 16 miles on the Milwaukee Mile. Brand new surface, really paying off today. They spent over $1.5 million on it, and it has produced a great race.
Having driven this until this year, I know what it felt like on your body too, bouncing over all those bumps, and that smooth surface has got to be a real nice feeling for those guys.
Emerson Fittipaldi wants to make sure that the car in front of him knows he's there. He's also, in that same gesture, trying to let the observers know that they really ought to give him a serious blue flag with the diagonal yellow to let him know that there is a faster car in contention just behind him. Do I see maybe a glisten in your eye that you would like to be out there, Mr. Sullivan?
Well, it hadn't completely gone away. I mean, it's always a great thing to drive a good race car, and you know, you kind of miss it a little bit. I haven't given it up completely. Of course, I'm going to head back to Le Mans in 2 weeks and try for a win there, along with a couple other guys. Mario Andretti will be over there, and quite a few other Americans.
You know, that'd be just about okay if you came back and worked with us as the new winner of the 24-hour Le Mans. That'd be a nice way to introduce you.
Well, I would sure like that, but I think there's 55 other cars over there that have the same thing in mind, and it's an awful competitive field.
Turning the focus back on the Miller 200, we've got a yellow. We've got a yellow, as we've just had Blundell ricochet off the wall and keep going. The yellow comes out with 12 laps to go.
That's Mark Blundell right there in the Visa car that you see in your screen. He's obviously slid up, but his pit will be closed. But if he's got some damage, he'll have to go in as he's doing now anyway for safety. And I don't think he'll be that concerned about the penalty as he will, is the car okay?
Well, this sets up an interesting situation because they'll all close up. Nobody will want to go into the pits. Here's the replay. Ooh, just white-walled it up there.
He just got up in that gray. He ran up high. I don't know if he was trying to pass somebody or not, but he got up in that gray. He did a very good job of driving around. But they'll have a quick check over. There's my last year's crew. Obviously, the car's not good enough. They're taking Mark out. Ziggy, the shortest one there on your left-hand side of your screen, he's telling him to get out. He's obviously looked, and something's probably bent that they can visually see.
Ziggy, a.k.a. Paul Harkis?
That's the one.
All right, now they will get the 10 laps to go indication this time by, but look under these new rules what it has done for this race. We have 5 cars on the lead lap, all the way down once again through Greg Moore, Al Unser Jr., Michael Andretti, Emerson Fittipaldi, Paul Tracy, and Greg Moore. When they're ready to go green, again, they will move to the inside, so all of the leaders of the race will be right together, all clustered, ready to go. Right, Jack?
Indeed, and you know, it's funny, as you monitor the radios on the crews, this is a time where all of a sudden the crew chiefs become coaches to the drivers. As you know, Danny, you know, under the caution, it's like our timeout. And this was kind of an interesting transmission we overheard for the Newman Haas team. They went to Michael, they asked him how he was going. He said, hey, it's going well, but then he added, you know, Al Jr. seems to be a lot smoother than I am.
Boy, that tells you something.
Well, we've seen a couple of times with Michael in traffic and two where he'll just kind of slide just a little bit, just ever so slightly, but that's enough where he can't chase after that throttle. And if you can't get on the gas early coming off those corners, you're going to be slow.
So now what strategy do you play? What is your plan on this thing? Well, for one team, that's Greg Moore's team. They've decided to bring him in the pits.
He obviously wasn't pleased with that. They're going to check everything over, make a wing adjustment. That's what they're doing on the front. They didn't take on tires or anything. He's still, don't forget, he's on the lead lap.
Nothing changes.
So nothing changes because he'll go to the back of that group, which he was already at the back anyway. There are only 5 cars in that group. So he's just making a little, got in the dirt there a little bit, but he's just making a slight wing adjustment because he feels the car's not handling well.
And it may give him just enough to get a few positions going to the finish. Gary Gerald?
Well, Mark Blundell has climbed out of the car. We don't have a camera down here on the wall, but a quick word. You're all right? What happened, Mark?
I'm fine. We got the car working just at the end of the race, which was a bit late, but once it was working, we were quick. And I got a little bit confident. I went round the outside of Maurizio and Zanardi for position. Just got into grey stuff. Once I was up there, that was it. I was history. The thing just slid right into the wall.
Thank you, sir. Paul?
Quick, just a little too quick. Now, Michael Andretti, they've now given the crossed flags. That is a new signal here. It's a yellow and green cross, and that means, guys, let's go to our 2 abreast. It'll be 1 lap to the green flag, assuming, of course, that everybody does get into the proper alignment, ready to come back to the green. There's Jens Swintel giving the crossed flags to them. And they should move with 5 cars down to the inside, the rest of the field lined up to the outside behind the pace car. 8 laps to go to the finish, Jack Arute.
And Michael Andretti is chomping at the bit. He keeps radioing in lap after lap. What are they doing? What are they doing? Let's get back to green. I'm going to give it one last try, guys.
All right. And there is his target. His antenna sitting out in front there. Boy, hear him slip that clutch. What's he doing?
Well, he's just spinning the back tires to get that heat in those tires because he wants to be able to run hard right from the millisecond that they show that green flag. You don't see Greg Moore there yet, but there he comes up at the bottom of your screen. The blue and white car just came in. Now those are on the leader lap down on the left-hand side. Those 5 cars back to the blue and white one.
They can't start racing until they cross the line. The cars on the lead lap down to the inside. Pace car off the track. 6 laps to go.